Alright guys, here we go. The first of the new Jazwares Five Nights at Freddy's figures. Hey guys, it's me, your host Super Zorro. Thank you very much for tuning in. Look what I got! It's Toy Freddy as a part of the brand new Five Nights at Freddy's toy line from Jazwares. This has been a long time coming, so for those that don't know, Funko used to make all of the Five Nights at Freddy's products. They had the master license for many years. They make everything from Funko Pops to Mystery Minis, but also they made action figures and plushies. Recently, over the last year or so, Funko actually lost the license to the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. They lost the master license. They can still make their Funko product, but they're unable to make plushies and action figures. The license for the main line of toys has been moved over to Jazwares. They've taken a little while, but they've finally come out with their first wave of action figures. If you've been following along on my vlogs recently, you'll see that I've been going to Smyths and picking them all up. I have most of the first wave, which includes Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, and Mangle. Plus then they had the Endo series of figures, which I've got Freddy. There is also Bonnie available, and there's going to be a Foxy and a Chica in the Endo series as well. But I think I'm going to stop at just the Freddy in the Endo line, as I have all the toy versions right here, and I'm not too bothered in constantly repeating the same figures over and over and over. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what Jazwares do next with this line, because a lot of us have been hoping that we're going to get some of the more modern stuff, like Security Breach. I'd also love them to tackle the Secrets of the Mimic as well, and Into the Pit, some of the more modern Five Nights at Freddy stuff, rather than constantly going back to the past. However, this is Jazwares' first outing in the Five Nights franchise, and I'm glad to see they've gone for the toy versions of them, as it's an actual action figure. It makes sense to have the toy Freddy, if that makes sense. I think that's a very cool way of doing the first line. Plus, I think most of these characters, like Mangle and the Toy Bonnie and Toy Chica, they're going to be featured heavily in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie, which is coming out later this year in December, which I am so excited to see. So I think this is a good move on Jazwares' part for the first wave. Now, with all my explanation out of the way, I'm excited to break into this. So supposedly he has glow-in-the-dark eyes. Well, it says glowing eyes. I'm guessing that means glow-in-the-dark. And he's also got a jump scare action, so no doubt he's got a button on his back we're going to press, and his hands are going to go rrr. So we'll take a look at that as well. I like the design on the box. They've definitely gone for the original game look, which I love. Because in the original game, you were basically trapped, if you've never played it, in you were in an office, like a security office, and you had to watch through the cameras and close different doors and turn lights on and things like that. And you had a power, and as the night went on, the power would diminish, and if you lost all power, you lost that level. There were 5 nights, and it was Five Nights at Freddy's, obviously. And there's the little, you can see right here, they've even included the little power thing right now, which is quite cool. And they've got the cams. So yeah, very much in keeping with the old school Five Nights at Freddy's feel. I like that. And they've gone for some nice artwork here on the box as well. Right, guys, there's all the characters on the back. I'm going to break him out of this packaging and take a closer look. So here we go, guys. First time opening the new packaging. Oh yeah. Now remember, guys, I unbox things so you don't have to. Ooh, I don't like to keep my figures boxed. I like to have figures to mess about with, play with, using dioramas. So I like to play with my action figures. So let's remove that. I think he's just got the one rope tie on there. Oh no, there's one around his hat as well. So let's remove that. And that should have freed Freddy. Yeah, he's out. Yeah. Don't worry, we will go down to the desk cam in a few moments on the desks so you guys can get an up-close person look at the figure. But I wanted just to quickly run through the figure itself on the main cam. Now, like I said, guys, I don't collect packaging. I unbox things so you don't have to. So on this channel, when we get boxes like this that we're not going to keep, we just give it a good old yeet. See ya. So here is our brand new Freddy Fazbear figure. Now, he does have the button on the back, so please excuse my inner child of wanting to push this straight away. So let's see what he does. Are you ready? Jump scare action in 3, 2, 1. Is that it? Is that your jump scare action? You offer hugs. Boost! That's not a jump scare action. Rah! His little mouth opens as well. Rah, rah, rah. I couldn't resist, sorry. Right, let's take a look at the articulation on the figure. So, annoyingly, the head, static. No articulation in the head at all, because they've got the mechanism to make him go and his mouth open. The neck does not have a hinge, so you cannot make Freddy look left or right. You cannot move his head. The head is static. No! That's a boo-boo. Hopefully the Endo series is going to be like... I'm hoping this is like the basic toy line, and then you've got the Endo series, which was $24.99. I'm hoping that's going to be like our Marvel Legends kind of line, so like a higher end line, I'm hoping. That's not a good start with no head articulation. Ugh. The arms, can they move other than the up and down motion? Yes, there is articulation in that arm, in that side, and you can rotate it as well. You've got to hold on to the other arm, otherwise the other arm will go with it. But yeah, we can move that left and right and up and down, so there is a bit of motion there. He also does have a hinge in his elbow here, so you can actually get him to do things. You can wrap his arms around, and you can play with that hinge on his hand as well to do different things. So that's good as well. So that means we can actually put his arms into a different pose, like this, so that when you do the jump scare, it's actually a bit, you can do like different poses for the jump scares. So I like that. So we can, so we can do different ranges of motions with it. That, to be fair, that mechanism to make him do that, that does feel very old school. Macarena. So there is, you know, you can make him do lots of ranges of motion here, which is nice. They have kept a very similar feel to the Funko product, which I was not looking forward to, because I hated the Funko product for the action figures. They always felt like they were going to fall apart on you every second. And they've sadly kept that feel a little bit for me. At least on this one. Now, he does look like he has a waist swivel there, but he doesn't. I can't get that to move. That is static again. So the waist swivel doesn't move. That's just the design that they've gone for. Now, the legs, you can pull them down out of the hinge a little bit. You can see the mechanism in there. Or you can pop that back up into the hip joint. So there is a bit of range of movement there. And you can make his legs go forwards, backwards. Oop, and you've got a hinge there to move it outwards as well. And like I say, you can bend the knee, I think that's a bendable knee. Oh, yeah, I don't want to move, though. That one's seized, I think. Might have to warm that one up. But he does have a hinge in there. I think. Yeah, there's definitely a hinge there. But it just doesn't want to bend on either leg. But there is a hinge there, so that must move. Oh, they've gone for the exact same pegs that Funko used, more or less. If you look there, look, you can see the hinge. So, yeah, interesting. And the feet have got pivot and rocker as well. And there is a display peg hole in the bottom of the feet, should you wish to use display pegs. Not that you're going to need to. He's got very sturdy, big, chunky feet. So I don't see, yeah, he's standing on his own perfectly. Right, I'm going to take you guys down to the desk cam to get an up-close, personal look at the new Freddy. Alright guys, so here is this new Freddy out of the packaging. Like I say, I'm not 100% sold on this just yet. But I do like it, I can't lie. I like the little mechanism. I'm getting used to the jump scare thing now. That's kind of cool. It harkens back to toys I had as a kid. Back in the 80s and 90s, toys definitely had that push action, because there's tons of old retro toys that do that. Or similar actions. So that is very reminiscent of old school nostalgic toys. Their head not moving, though, is an absolute crime against toys, in my opinion. And again, I can't get these knees to move. I'm pulling on them. You can see it's there. There's a hinge there. It's just not activating for some reason. And I don't want to pull it too hard and break him. But the beauty of this toy line is it is solid and it is chunky and you ain't going to break it. So, I mean, I know you shouldn't because it's Five Nights at Freddy's, but let's not forget, a lot of the people that buy Freddy stuff is for smaller kids. So, I mean, as an adult collector, I can see the appeal as to why they want to make him like this, because they want to make sure he's sturdy for kids to play with. Admittedly, kids should not be playing with Five Nights at Freddy's toys. I've said that from day one. Five Nights at Freddy's is an adult game. It's a horror game. There's some very adult themes in Five Nights at Freddy's. And I think it's a crime that it's considered a children's thing. It's so weird. But then again, back in the 90s, I mean, we had toys for Alien and Predator, and they definitely weren't kids' movies either, so... It's just times moving on, I suppose. But anyway, that to one side. Let's have a look at this, because we've got, basically, I wanted to compare. So this is Toy Freddy from the new Jazwares line. This is one of the Freddys from the Funko line. Now, sizable comparison, they are more or less the same size. From the top of the ears, top of the head-ish, they're about the same. There isn't much height in it. If I do that, there you go. There's not much in it height-wise. They are more or less the same figure. So if you did have a full collection of these already on the shelf from Funko, your new ones are not going to really look out of place. Although, I'm pretty sure Jazwares would not want me telling you that, because they want you to buy all the toys again from their line. So, go away, Funko. But I'm just saying, for those of you that already have an established collection, this new toy will fit in with the scale pretty well. Again, they're very similar looking. If you look at how they've designed them, they do have a very similar feel to them, which does match Five Nights at Freddy's, the game in general. They do look a little bit like this. They do look blocky in the game at times. So yeah, I do get the design. And I do feel like Jazwares have gone out of their way to try and make this line feel like the the one from Funko, because it's already an established line. A lot of collectors already have it and love this line. The toy itself is pretty cool, but I want to test this glow eyes feature, so I'm going to hit it with some UV light for a few seconds, and we'll shut the curtains, and we'll see if we can get this thing to glow and get the eyes glowing. I'm guessing it's going to be just glow in the dark. So if I light this up for a few minutes, and then we'll shut the curtains. So just bear with me 2 moments. Now, guys, that is pretty cool, because those eyes are glowing in the dark, so that is pretty cool. Let me hit that with a bit more UV for a second. Let me see if we can get them really glowing for the camera. But that is pretty cool. I do like that. Are we ready, guys? Let's go for it. Yeah, those eyes really do look cool on camera, glowing like that. That is so cool. Overall, I'm excited by this toy line. I'm excited to see what the future holds for Jazwares with the Five Nights at Freddy's license. I'm excited to see where they go next and what games they explore. My favourite of the franchise was always the Sister Location. I'm a big fan of that game, and I hope we get some awesome Bibi Bab and Baby, and yeah, I want some Ballerina, and I want all the characters from Sister Location. So I'm hoping that's going to be a thing. I'm also actually hoping that Jazwares are going to get the opportunity to make actual Five Nights at Freddy's movie merchandise, because Funko never really did that. Funko never went after the movie when it first came out, and this second movie is very, very, like, everyone's excited for it, because this one, they've learnt the lesson from the first movie. It looks like they're going in a darker direction, and we are getting some of the best characters from the series in this one, including the puppet, Mangle, and it's going to be a good movie, and the toy versions of them are in the trailer, and we're getting the voices of, like, Megan Fox and Pat from YouTube, which is really cool. So I'm excited for the new movie, and I can't wait to see it on the big screen. Guys, this has been the first review. That was Freddy. I'll be back in a couple of days with another review of this line. I still have Chica, Bonnie, Mangle to go, and I've got the Endo pack with Freddy. So stay tuned for more figures real soon. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm your host, Superstar. I'll catch you in the next one. But until then, stay super. Bye!